Assassin's Creed Mirage is Ubisoft's latest entry in their 16-year-long third-person action parkouring stabbing franchise. After a shift to a more action RPG style with 2017's Origins, Mirage aims to return to the roots of Assassin's Creed with its stealth gameplay and Middle Eastern setting. And I thought it'd be fun to take a look back at the game that came before, Assassin's Creed.
The first Assassin's Creed takes place in the Holy Land, the modern-day Israel, Palestine and Syria in the 1100s. I think the choice to set it in older cities really lends itself to the parkouring elements. It was super fun to scale old church towers and scurry along the top of huts. I will say though, Assassin's Creed 1's environments feel really sparse, with fewer opportunities to flow through your free run parkouring. You're given a horse fairly early on in the game too, and have to ride it from city to city at the beginning, which isn't that fun. And I know you can fast travel later, but it really shows how far the series has come. In Mirage, you can spend the whole time free running through the entire Baghdad map. Parkouring through Jerusalem in the 1100s rips, but you know what doesn't? The modern day with Desmond. Ugh. I hated these parts so much. I totally get how this modern day setting is supposed to oppose the Holy Land and justify all the gamey elements of Assassin's Creed. It's a cool idea to have your in-game character playing an in-game character, but it also felt boring to me, and I loathed every time the game would take me back to it. The lab is sterile, full of gadgets, and very few people. It felt like the MJ sections in Spider-Man. Every time I was like, oh great, I get to spend time not being a secret assassin, just get to mosey around being an ordinary bloke. How fun. Anyway, as the first game in the franchise, Assassin's Creed has to do a lot of establishing.
I was supposed to be one, but I ran away from the farm when I was 16.
Farm?
The whole Animus project and puppets and the Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, that's a lot. There are twists and turns, some friends become enemies, etc, etc, but to be honest, coming back to Assassin's Creed after 16 years, the story felt a bit slow. The best parts of the story for me center around Altair, an arrogant assassin of the Brotherhood who, due to some poor decision making, has to regain his honor and deal with the Templars, the main baddies of the franchise. Looking back, Assassin's Creed's story is way more convoluted than I remember, and the back and forth switching from timelines is something that doesn't happen in Mirage. The Animus doesn't really feature much, save for the fact that Basim is a puppet that's being controlled through the Animus by someone. I think it's great that they left this relic of the past back in the old Assassin's Creed games, because, let's be honest, the present day sci-fi stuff kinda sucked. One thing I was pleasantly surprised by was a lot of the now dated gameplay. The free running still feels pretty tight. Climbing, leaping, and running through the city feels almost like it does in Mirage 16 years later. And even though it's a little janky, the stealth stuff was at least trying something new at the time.
Shit. Oh no. Oh no.
Assassin's Creed had a whole high/low profile thing where your actions were all categorized into high profile, which would attract a lot of attention. Stuff like sprinting and punching, and low profile, such as gentle push or blending, which would help you stay undetected. Mirage has also left this element in the past, but there's still the echoes of this system at play. In Assassin's Creed 1, you're sort of always at risk of triggering an attack by a nearby guard, but in Mirage, sprinting up to a building doesn't necessarily get guards to attack you straight away. They sort of box up the stealth gameplay in restricted areas where guards are on full alert and will attack Basim as soon as they see him. There's also a wanted system like in GTA. Now, we have to talk about this blending mechanic. In Assassin's Creed 1, blending was a separate action that was context sensitive. When you held it down, Altair puts his hands in a prayer pose and you start walking slowly. This would mostly keep the guards off your case unless you need to try and infiltrate a city. That's when a squadron of white-robed scholars would come into use. If you walked nearby these scholars and pressed the blend button, you start to walk alongside them and the guards don't bother you at all. In Mirage, the blending mechanic is a bit more fluid. If you walk up near a group of 3 or more people, you get that white stealthed outline and the guards don't really notice you. This is a more streamlined way to do it, but sometimes I'd fall out of step with other people and suddenly have 90 guards wailing on me. With Assassin's Creed 1, you're kind of locked in when you blend, which is way more reliable. Also, we've got to talk equipment and skill progression. In Assassin's Creed 1, it didn't have a whole lot of gadgets or even a skill tree like Mirage does. Instead, you've got skills that you regain through synchronizing memories as you play. You unlock throwing knives, a short blade for counter kills, but you can see this in a more fleshed out and diversified manner in the later installments of the game. Mirage has a skill tree, gadgets, and even the gadgets have their own modification skill tree type thing, which allows for more options when you're assassinating. Assassin's Creed 1 is by no means a perfect game. There's a ton of jank to it. And it starts to feel quite one note at times, but the bones are there. You can see why so many people fell in love with the franchise and why people are so excited to see Mirage return to form. Before you play Mirage, you should give Assassin's Creed 1 a go. As fun as it is to play the latest releases, it's also fun to check out the games that came before.
This might work or it might not. Ready? We must. Okay, it worked out.